Hi YouTube, it's Soprano Musings, and today I want to talk a little bit about teacher observation. As many of you know by now, and most of you are following me because of this, I am a 21st Gen TaLK scholar. What that means is that I am a TaLK scholar in South Korea. I am a part of the Teach and Learn in Korea scholarship internship program, and I teach English to elementary students. Again, today I want to talk about teacher observations. This is something that is mandatory within this program. Several teachers within a certain city, they go to watch their fellow TaLK scholar, another teacher, teach their class, their after school class. And we go and we watch them, we observe them with their students. And it's mainly in part to help us hone in on our teacher skills, things that we can improve, as well as things that the teacher that we are observing can improve as well, and to really open the floor for scholars to talk freely about things that are going on within their school that they may want to improve upon. And I know that I come across a certain way. I'm completely fine with that. However, I am not okay when fellow scholars cannot grasp what is actually going on in a certain situation, and therefore they tend to, in my opinion, show a complete disregard of why they are doing something or why they are at a certain place. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. I'm hoping that this video in the future will help those of you that are applying for the TaLK program, or you are currently enrolled in the TaLK program and you wish to extend and you want to fully understand what the teacher observation is for, and that way you'll know how to approach it in the future. So with that said, today's teacher observation was not mine, and I am forever thankful that it was not mine. Overall, the lesson went well. The teacher that we observed seemed to know their students very well, and they were able to engage with them and have fun with them with a project that was themed around Halloween, which was great because we are in the month of October. Halloween as a holiday is still very fresh, very new for native Korean speakers, which I thought it was a great overall. It was a great class overall. They conducted themselves in their normal manner, and as far as I'm concerned, overall the class went well. There are some points that I wanted to make known, and instead of me doing a rant, again, I just wanted to make some points, if you will, for teacher observation etiquette. First things first, be on time. And you will receive emails close to the day reminding you of that. And overall, everyone did well with showing up on time. The dress code is business casual, not casual. Please do not show up to a teacher observation looking as though you quite literally rolled out of bed and got on the bus and came to the school. I believe there were 27 scholars at this particular teacher observation, and I can see at least 6 that were dressed, in my opinion, very inappropriately. Some people showed up in just plain white tees with denim jackets and very comfortable, should I say, comfortable t-shirts. Not going to go too much further into that, but again, if you are new to the term business casual, it does not include denim. It does not include denim. Just want to make sure that your hair is neatly kept. basically you want to look as though you're going to a very lax job interview. You don't have to show up wearing a full three-piece suit or a blazer or anything of that nature, but you do want to look presentable. Again, you are representing your school, you are representing the TaLK program, and so when people come across you and they see you a certain way, they will think a certain way, and that's generally all of South Korea. Appearances are very important here, and even though you are a foreigner, there are certain things that you think you may be able to skate by with, but appearance is not one of them. And that can also be said for personal hygiene. It is it's actually in your TaLK Scholar contract, and I remember when I saw this in the contract, I couldn't believe that it was mentioned in the contract, and after being here, I realized that it had to be added in because some individuals will completely bypass it. So again, when you attend your teacher observation, make sure that your personal hygiene is taken care of and make sure that you are dressed in a business casual way. The number one thing I want to bring to everyone's attention is respect your fellow teachers. Because you are not teaching the live class does not mean that you can converse with your fellow scholars that are also in the same room observing the class. Now, when we attend the TaLK observation or the TaLK consultation, you are given two things. You are given the teacher's outline for that class, what is going to happen in very detailed format, and then you are also given a survey, and this survey is for you to fill out after watching the class. These things are given to you so that you are aware of what is going to take place in the class and what questions you will be asked after the class. And again, this is for your benefit as well as the teacher that is presenting the live class, the teacher that you are observing. Now, the class that we were in, again, there were 27 scholars, I believe, as well as two higher ups from Seoul, as well as our province coordinator and our, I believe he's our TaLK supervisor. So there were quite a few people in this room. And then on top of that, there was the TaLK scholar that was teaching the live class, their 9 students, and their co-teacher. So it's only natural that people will want to start talking amongst themselves. I understand that. Going forward, I would suggest that you don't. When a teacher has to step away from their students to ask the TaLK scholars that are observing their class to not talk, that means that your volume has increased louder than their students. And to me, that is the highest disrespect that you can give your TaLK scholar, your fellow coworker, because I don't know, again, if this has become aware to those of you that are applying for the program or currently in the program. This is not a summer camp. This is an internship. This is a paid internship. This is a job, and I understand that it may be the first job that some of you may have had, and I understand that you're very excited because you're away from home, you're in a new country, you've made new friends, you've had all these new experiences over the last few months, and you want to talk about them. That's great. But the time to talk about what you have experienced and what you are observing is not during a live observation. That is why you are given a survey And that is also why you are given the outline of what the teacher will be conducting the lesson on with their students. So you can make notes on the back of your survey if you have questions. You can also use the back of that form to write down your pros, things that you liked about the class, as well as your cons, things that you felt may help in the future to improve the lesson plan or to improve the teaching style of the scholar that you are observing. Like I said, overall the class went well. As far as the teacher commanding the class, that was handled very well. I wish that they did not have to address the other 26 TaLK scholars that were in the room to observe the class. I felt that that was, again, in very poor taste, that a fellow coworker had to tell a group of teachers to please be quiet. These are also teachers that have been teaching now for several months and have had the unique honor of having to do the same thing with their own students, to constantly tell your students to be quiet or to, get them to listen to you during your class. So to me, again, it's extremely poor taste and it's extremely disrespectful when a TaLK scholar has to do that. I don't think it should ever happen, and the fact that it did still irks me. Another key point that I want to make, again, for your teacher observation, and honestly when you're teaching in general within the TaLK program, your work attire is business casual. Your personal hygiene should always be taken care of, and your phones should always be on silent. We did have one that was not. And if you are in the unique situation where a TaLK scholar has to ask the group of TaLK scholars observing their class to be quiet, please refrain from giving commentary out loud when you are within, I would say they were maybe 5-10 feet away from the students. Because the reason why I am upset about this, and the reason why I'm doing this video, is because you are now interrupting that class. You are essentially interrupting that class. These students have never seen you before. Of course, they're curious and interested, and just as suspected, during this class, when certain people were talking, they were very close to the students would then turn their attention to whomever it was that was speaking. It's only natural. These kids are probably, 10, or actually no, they're probably 11, 12 years old, very curious. Haven't seen very much of foreigners, so naturally they are going to be distracted when they can hear you speaking during their class. And to me, that's extremely rude to their teacher, because their teacher is trying to engage them in an activity to help them improve and to learn English. And they can't do that efficiently if they have a fellow TaLK scholar talking. And I'm not talking about library whispering. Library whispering happens. You can take notes and, tap the other person on your shoulder. I get that. That happens. But what I have done was gone ahead and I drew an outline of the classroom that we were in. So this here is the back area. And then here is the window area. This is the teacher's desk. And then past the teacher's desk, this is where the students and the teacher and the co-teacher were. And then just past that right here, this nice desk, that's where the two representatives from Seoul were. The secondhand embarrassment was so real. It was so real, you guys. So real. So you have the two representatives from Seoul for the TaLK program. And then the next desk right here, you have our POE and our TaLK supervisor. And then all throughout that, all those little circles, those are TaLK scholars. And make sure I have this right. Okay, so this is where I was sitting. And that was about a good 20 feet away from here. I could hear the conversations that were being had here. Not just whispers, but I could tell you what they were talking about. And that was, again, they were about 20 or 30 feet away from me. Okay, again, I was sitting about right here. And then up front, there are two people. Again, I could hear their whole conversation. I can hear them commenting as if they were watching a sports game on the activity that the students were doing. And again, I understand you're with your new friends, you are excited to be here, and you've probably never attended a teacher observation before, but there are ways to go about it, and the way that the majority of the TaLK scholars that were in attendance today went about it was not it. So I think I want to leave off here. If you have any other questions about teacher observations, things that we are required to do within the TaLK program, how to apply for the TaLK program, please let me know in the comments below. If you have attended a teacher consultation or a teacher observation, let me know how your consult or observation went. I would love to know what you guys think in regards to that, and overall how your experiences have been within the TaLK program. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, be inspired, stay inspiring, and I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be a whole lot more upbeat than this one. So, annyeong, good night!